Welcome back again. You're still watching us here on Nile Cruise, and we are in a special place. It's a cultural heritage, and we got to know more about it today with myself, Yasmin Bakir, and Rana Al-Assas. Beit al-Kretliya is considered one of the most remarkable examples of Muslim domestic architecture in Cairo, and we are going to know more about when it was built and who are the owners, and so much more about this very important cultural heritage located in Sayyida Zainab neighborhood. And we're very delighted to have joining us Madam Ibtesam Mahmoud, who's the Director of Monument Affairs at the Kretliya House. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Justin. Let's talk about Kretliya House. Our house consists of two houses. The first house built by Muhammad ibn Salim al-Ghazar and returned to Ottoman period. And the other house, the second person who lived inside the house called Zainab, and she came from Crete Island. Then we called our museum with House, Kretliya House, or Ger Anderson Museum, because the last one who rents the two houses from the government of Egypt. And it built in 17th century and 11 agree. But the other house built by Abdul Qadir al-Haddad, and the other person lived inside the house was a woman called Amna bin Salim, and returned to 16th century and 10 agree. Let's talk also about the concept of the house. When we inside the house, we can find the open court, and around open court there are many rooms for serve the oil and honey, and also for and stable for park his horse. The man who built the house made a stable to his horse, and also a well inside the house to watering the horses. And also there are many legends about this well. And inside the house we can see many rooms. These rooms now we can find inside it. Can find many objects returned to many civilizations and different countries.
Okay, of course, we need to know more about Geir Anderson, who used to live in this house.
Yes.
And what does history tell us about him? And when was the Kretliya house?
Okay, let's talk about Geir Anderson Basha at
Yes,
the first. Geir Anderson, who was an official doctor, and he came came in Egypt in 1907, and he preferred, after his retirement, he preferred to stay in Egypt, and he made a deal with the government of Egypt, and that to conservation the two houses before he put his own collection inside the house. And after the conservation, the deal that after conservation I can put all my collection inside the two houses, and the two houses holding my name if I death, if after my death or leaving the country. And this deal done with the government of Egypt.
You said that there are many legends about this house.
Yes,
Tell us about them.
There are many legends. There was a man lived in the tomb of Harun al-Husseini called Suleiman Kretli. In my opinion, this man was a liar man, an intelligent man. He told Geir Anderson with this legend, and Geir Anderson believed in this legend, such as the benevolent serpent and magic well, Sultan Watawit and his 7 daughters. Ahmed Toulon built his mosque, and the landing of Noah Park, and also Moses talking with his God. Many legends about the house and about the Ahmed Toulon mosque.
But has the legends been true? I mean, have they been proven true throughout these over 1,000 years? Has any of these legends proven true, including the well?
Including the well. I will talk about one of these legends, such as the landing of Noah Ark. Suleiman Kretli told him that the boat of our prophet Noah came here, and they thanked their God. Then they called this mountain with Yashkor. Yashkor mountain, or Gabal Yashkor, and also he lied to Geir Anderson, told him that Moses came here and talking with his God in this area. You are lived in a famous place, and this place is an important place that he didn't want Geir Anderson lived from Egypt. We can if you want to talk about any legend, of course, the benevolent serpents, there was a man lived here, the man who built a house called Muhammad ibn Salim, and he looked at his children, his sons. He has two sons. They played with the two snakes, small snakes. Then the mother snake came and put the poison inside the pottery jars. Then it be very, very angry with that, but she found that the father blamed his sons. Then before Muhammad drank from the pottery jars, she decided to broken that pottery jars with its body.
Okay, how was the house regarded before Geir Anderson Pasha moved to it?
In 19th century, the Egyptian government started to remove or to make expansion to the area of Ahmed Toulon Mosque. And also they removed a lot of houses around inside this area, but they decided about the area of Ahmed Toulon Mosque, but they decided to left this house because it considered one of the remarkable examples of domestic, of Islamic, of Muslim domestic architecture in Cairo.
What are the most remarkable possessions of this house?
Yes, so let's talk about possessions of the house. There are many objects inside the house returned to different countries and different civilizations, such as crown of Greco-Roman columns, box of jewelry, and also a pharaonic collection, stands of pottery, wedding chairs, berth chairs. There are many magic balls. Okay, let's bed return to Indian room, and also furniture, different furniture and different objects return to different civilization.
Okay, what are some of the historic incidents related to El Krikleya house?
There are many films shot here or directed here, such as The Spy Who Loved Me, to James Bond in 1977, and also Almas and Abdul Hamouli to the basic singer Warda, and also Gabet Qal, Shafiqa Mutwalli to Suad Hosni, famous actors, Suad Hosni, and also we know Weld Al Ghalaba. Many films acted here.
Which was the most famous film that you recall that
last,
was filmed here?
Al Fil Al Azraq.
Oh, really? Al Fil Al Azraq was...
And the roof, acted in the roof. A part of them acted in our roof.
That's very interesting. Yes. I didn't know that. See, that's the thing. You are the director of this place, the Kreteli House. And the director of the monuments, rather of this place. And how, from a general perspective, how do you see? Because I'm very interested to know how they preserve such heritage for long years. Do they form committees? Is there a certain way of dealing with things in order to make sure that the monuments stay in place and that whoever comes and visits them, or when they're shooting, nothing is missing, nothing breaks, nothing is destroyed?
Do you want to tell me how we can make another, can look at the house? Yes, in our house we make many exhibitions in our museum, such as exhibition to different people or handicaps. Okay, we want many visitors came to our house, such as, and also we have after 3 months we put inside the room which called Blue Room many exhibitions, many objects, and return to Geir Anderson Pasha from different countries, such as oil lamps. We have an exhibition to oil lamps from different civilization. One of them returned to Hebrew time, okay, and inscribed with Hebrew times. The many objects we had and exhibitions we made inside our house. We know, and we want many visitors came to our house with that way, with exhibitions which happened in our museum.
Your means of advertisements for such exhibitions, how do people know about it? How do they get the idea that you're doing such an exhibition in this house?
At the first time, when I went with my friends, we talk about handicapes. We want to make a things to handicapes. Then my friend, he is blind, and he can draw with his two hands. Okay, I told my director with that, and she came. She asked him
You
to
mean
came.
2 hands or 2 fingers?
Two fingers, pardon,
fingers,
with two fingers, and he draw with ink black, with black,
Black
ink,
ink.
just with black ink, and then we decided from that time we decided to make an exhibition to him, just to him, okay, and. Other exhibition to the famous artist also with handicaps, such as Hanan Nahrawi. She cannot hear, but she also participate in these exhibitions, and also another doctor in art of faculty. He has no hands, but he can draw very famous pictures. Many artists, handicaps, participation in these exhibitions.
What makes this place very special? Apart from the legends and the possessions and the location, what makes it very different than any other cultural heritage site in Egypt or in Cairo in particular?
I don't know. Can you ask with another way?
Yes. I was asking you what makes this place special. What makes it
Special.
different than any other place?
Yes, our house is different and special house because inside the house we can see the Sabil. We know that the Sabil is a building around or beside the mosque, but we cannot see Sabil room in the house of which return to Ottoman houses. But this man that built the house want to be near to our God Allah, and then he put inside his house Sabir room. Sabir room consists of store for Nile of water to the public people, for thirsty people can drink water for free as charity. And he also built another room above this room, above Sabir room, called Kotab, for leading the children our Holy Quran for free. He wanted to enter the paradise from the big door.
Okay, the house of course is divided into two halves: the haramlik and or the family residence, and the salamlik, also known as the guest house.
Yes.
Oh, you said at the beginning that there are two houses.
Yes.
Actually, what are the other sections and rooms of this house?
There are many sections and rooms inside the house, such as I talk about. Sabir room and Pharaonic room, celebration hall, and also Damascus room, Turkish room, Indian room, Chinese room, dining room of Gair Anderson, which is called with Queen Anne room, and also we can find Harim Amna, the other Harim is the other side and the other house, and also bride room and Marvel's room, Kritleya house, Kritleya doors, and also Perth Chairs room.
There's also a lot of artistic work that's being put here. You said that there are certain lamps and there's
Yes.
certain paintings on the wall.
Yes, of course.
Were they also dating back to Gare Anderson's era, or the other people that lived in this house after him?
All the collection here are Gair Anderson was a collector, man, and all of the object inside the house returned to Gair Anderson Basha, and his twin Thomas, who called Thomas, he was also painter. Okay, he painted a lot of these pictures, and one of these the artist called Hamza Kar. He was a Christian. After he became Muslim, he changed his name with Hamza Kar, and also Prince Muhammad Ali. He has a lot of his picture here as a present to Muhammad Ali, to Gair Anderson Basha.
Okay, how was the house regarded before Gair Anderson Pasha moved to it?
Regarded to move another way with another. Can you ask the question with another way?
How was this house used before he moved into it?
Before he moved, the government of Egypt. I told you that the government of Egypt, she looked at the house, but she knows that house special house, and she cannot left the house. She left the house before it was damaged and it conservation, but by the Egyptian government and. I can't.
Go on.
Okay, but government of Egypt still conservation or restoration the house in 1935 at 1937. Okay.
Yes.
At 1937, and he lived after this conservation. He lived in the house in 1937 at 1942.
All right, that was interesting to know from you. We'd like to thank you once again,
Thank you, Jasmine.
Ibtesam
Thank you, Rana.
Mahmoud Abdel Wahid, who is Director of Monuments Affairs at Kritliya House. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us here
you,
on
Rana.
our
Thank you,
cruise.
Jasmine.
It was a pleasure. Dear viewers, stay with us. Still coming up here. Another segment on our cruise. We'll be back again. Don't go away. Me and my colleague, Yasmin Bakir.